Going back to school. A recent federal probe revealed that students who enroll in for-profit schools received more than $20 billion in federal aid last year. And now they're defaulting on those loans at an alarming rate. In addition, federal investigators went undercover and met with school recruiters who oversold the amount of money students can expect to earn. It was certainly misleading, but was it par for the course? Chris Cuomo took our hidden cameras to one such school for tonight's Nightline Investigates.
I knew I'd eventually go to college, but I also knew that a traditional college just wasn't for me.
They promise a second chance at education.
What if an education could adapt for the time we live in?
Often from the comfort of home.
I'm looking for Tanya.
But this is an undercover ABC News producer posing as a prospective student at the country's largest for-profit, mostly online college.
Our degree is recognized. We fall under the same accreditation as the same accrediting bodies as, say, your Columbia's, your NYU's, Notre Dame, USC,
Harvard.
UCLA, Harvard, right.
The recruiter says with their degree and some student teaching, he'll be set.
Clearly, I can go to University of Phoenix, do my bachelor's degree, and 100% for sure I can go back to either Texas or New York, and I can sit for those exams.
Right.
And once I finish those exams,
Then you can become a teacher.
I can teach.
Yes, that is true.
But it's not true. That degree alone won't allow him to teach public school in many states. We went undercover after meeting Melissa Dahlmeyer, a single mother of 3 who dreamed of leaving her factory job to teach.
I want to be an elementary education teacher. It's something I've always wanted to do. I want to give back to our future, our children.
She says a University of Phoenix recruiter told her an online associate's degree was her ticket, much as the recruiter told our undercover producer.
So you could have a bachelor's degree in basket weaving, still be a teacher, but they just want you to go through the credential program for that state, for that.
But what I want to know is, I mean, it sounds like if I get a bachelor's from here, I'm going to be okay there.
Mm-hmm.
They told me after 2 years I could start teaching, that they had an agreement with the Illinois State Board of Education, and that as soon as I finished their program, I'd be ready to start working.
What Melissa wasn't told was that degree was essentially worthless to her. It wouldn't allow her to teach in Illinois.
I was pretty devastated. I mean, you've got in your head that after 2 years you're going to be able to do something you've always wanted to do, and then you find out that it's not true.
Do we train our people to give that kind of misadvice? Absolutely not.
We asked the University of Phoenix's president, Dr. Bill Pepicello, why our hidden camera caught the same false promise.
The same thing happens, a different recruiter, University of Phoenix. If I come and I pay all this money that I'm going to be saddled with in debt, can I teach? Absolutely. Yes, you can. 100%. 100%.
Well, no change in that particular instance. It's absolutely, it's indefensible. It's unacceptable. And, you know, we deal with those cases immediately as they come up.
He said they're investigating these cases and taking steps to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Believe you me, no one here has not gone to school because of financial aid.
And the government has been doing its own investigation into for-profit schools like the University of Phoenix.
A lot of people have potential here. The best thing about it, it's not like a car note where if you don't pay, they're going to come after you.
In several cases, recruiters told undercover agents that you're not penalized if you don't pay a federal student loan back.
When I look at it, I owe $85,000 to the University of Florida. Will I pay it back? Probably not. I look at life a little differently than most people. I look at life as tomorrow's never promised.
I felt like I was in a position of trust in taking advantage of students who thought they could trust me.
Zara Crowley was a recruiter at the for-profit Westwood College in 2007. The school says it gives degrees in such diverse disciplines as design, technology, criminal justice, and healthcare.
We'd often tell students that various degrees would get them into a job which they could start earning up to $100,000 a year.
Crowley says she quit because she couldn't continue preying on low-income youth and using something called pain points.
Pain point would be something, they work at McDonald's, they don't want to be like their parents. We'd turn it on them and say, I thought you wanted to do something with your life. Do you want to work at McDonald's for the rest of your life?
And an internal Westwood memo obtained by ABC News confirms this. Identify the pain point and dig, it says.
And in your situation and at your stage in life, you should be ready to make the investment of time and money necessary to get you to where you should be at this point. But you're not.
Crowley says this government video from a different school reminds her of the pain point tactic.
On the phone, we acted one way towards them, and when we'd hang up the phone, a completely different side.
Behind closed doors, she says recruiters laughed at the students.
They would mock the students. They would call them the Jerry Springer crowd.
600 a day, and that's just on the low end.
One of the most outrageous examples of recruiters overselling their programs was this one, where a recruiter explains to an agent that he can make up to 6 figures after graduating from a barber training program.
We've had some students who are making maybe $600, $700, $800, maybe $1,000 a day.
In fact, those government agents found that recruiters at all 15 for-profit schools they tested
Apply to the school.
made deceptive sales pitches.
15 for 15 is a wake-up call.
A wake-up call that you got caught, and now you may have to change because there's public scrutiny.
A wake-up call that whatever the schools thought they were doing is clearly not enough.
Harris Miller is an industry spokesman for these schools.
You acknowledge that the wrongdoing is ongoing even as we speak.
Unfortunately, yes, we have not gotten rid of all of the bad situations. And again, I'm not sure what the sources are, but we have a zero tolerance policy. That means once in a while you have to take an employee and take them out in the back and shoot them. Not literally, but you have to dismiss employees.
And you have to do it before I come and call you. Because if you have to be caught every time before you do something, then you're never going to improve as an industry.
Absolutely.
Despite these problems, Miller says for-profit schools still play a valuable role.
We have the ability, the capacity to add to what the community colleges and traditional schools are doing, but we have to do it the right way.
But for Melissa, she's out $8,000 and is now unemployed. We asked Miller what will be done for students like her.
You're going to change going forward. That's beautiful. That's music to the ears of your critics, right? But what are you going to do for the people who've been left holding the bag?
Congress has the ability to change the law.
Exaggeration, lying, whatever, it's not right to do that to somebody. You don't tell people something just because you want their business.
Melissa still hopes to be able to teach one day. This is Chris Cuomo for Nightline.